the sun and the sea will solve everything. A little chef's kiss. I'm a little drunk. Stay healthy, my friends. What's up, everyone? I am in Budva, Montenegro, and today I'm going to be recapping my month of May 2022. And I'm going to be talking about a lot of different categories, so I'll throw those all in the video chapters, and please, as usual, feel free to jump around. And the big thing this month was we went to Europe, and that's where we are right now. So we flew into Dubrovnik, then we went to Kotor in Montenegro, Ulcinj in Montenegro, and now we're in Budva in the Budva Riviera. We've been along the water kind of this whole time. We hadn't done a real flight in a while. We'd flown to Mexico, but those are like easy. Those are on like 737s or whatever. We were on a proper plane. We flew an A350 on Lufthansa from LAX to Munich. Then we changed to an A320neo or one of these like newer Airbuses to go from Munich to Dubrovnik. And we're in Europe, and we had been waiting to do something kind of transoceanic as we had a Hawaii trip bungled by COVID, then we had a Bali, Tokyo trip bungled. So we're in Europe. That's kind of been the big thing. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but that's the big thing in May, man. We're in Europe. The other kind of like highlight or interesting thing is we're a little older now. We don't stay in hostels. We still love to travel and do the travel thing, but we don't stay in hostels, so it's harder to meet people. We actually met quite a few people on this bus from Dubrovnik to Kotor, and the reason I think we met so many people is our bus, which it was supposed to be like an hour and 45-minute bus, maybe 2 hours, was delayed 2 hours. So every cranky person that you saw at this tiny bus station, we were all on the same bus, so like got to chatting with some people. And when we got to Kotor, how many people? Like 4 different people from that bus ended up staying at our Airbnb. So had drinks with them, then had dinner with them, and then we hit it off with this one couple on the bus, and we actually hung out with them 2 days in Kotor. So shout out to Connor and Mariana if you're watching this. But I don't know, it's cool meeting people when I feel like I'm too old to do that. But in Mexico City and on this trip, you keep building community, keep meeting people, and it's always super cool. That is the reason I'm doing this, YouTube. So if you want to be part of the tribe or community, subscribe if you want to help me grow. Otherwise, just watch the videos and participate. And then last kind of 2 things against my will. Yunji's a huge activity person. If you've seen any of my cost of living videos, you know how I feel about that. And she convinced me to go on this boat tour that I was not excited about. It ended up being a lot of fun. It was like a 3-hour boat tour. We went all the way throughout the bay, stopped at a bunch of stuff, went in a submarine tunnel, went to this like island where there's a church, went to this blue cave, saw a prison that's getting converted into a casino. Just a lot of cool stuff. And on that, we met this couple from America that like basically cruises most of the year. And then afterwards we got like beers and lunch with them. So it was just a really cool activity, very solid one. And then in addition to that, or the last thing, basically this whole trip we've been on the coast. So from Dubrovnik until now in Budva, and our next destination, we've been down the coast. So we've basically been going to the beach every day, living our best life. Yuji's super happy about the seawater, and she thinks like her skin and hair and everything's great. My skin's way better. My skin went from like dry and having to put a bunch of crap on to, man, the sun and the sea will solve everything. All right, so food. This is gonna be a long section because I ate a lot of good, yummy things. So if you want to skip ahead to like my personal finances or learning exercise, if you want to skip ahead, please hit the video chapters. If you're interested in what I ate, let's get into this. It's my favorite part of everything. So one of the things I ate before we left for Europe was Portos. If you've never had Portos, it's one of the best things in California. They ship nationwide. I have a video coming soon of me just eating my favorite things from Portos, so I don't want to talk about that too much, but if you're from Southern California or you're anywhere in America or have had Portos, hit me in the comments. It'll make me happy. Portos is so good. One of the first things we had in Croatia that I had read about in general, and I've had this from like Armenian food back home, it's called boreg or cheese boreg, but in the Balkans it's called burek, and it's basically like phyllo dough or pastry with either cheese and spinach or meat. That was one of the first things I've had on this trip. I think we've had it like 5 or 6 times. It's just incredible. Like, as long as you're not lactose or counting calories, because like the phyllo dough is gonna wreck you, it is just the best morning snack to get you going. And if you have one of these, you will not be hungry till dinner time. We had a lot of good seafood in Croatia, but we went to this kind of like, it's supposed to be like a cheap eats place. It's probably one of the most famous places in Dubrovnik. It's called Kamenika, and these videos will be coming soon. So again, watch out for them, or the easiest way, subscribe, and enable notifications. We had like seafood pasta, but this table to the right had this plate of mussels that, like, I'm not even kidding, like wider than my shoulders, just massive. And I was like, this place was good. Do you want to come back for mussels another time? And we came back, and Croatia's expensive, or Dubrovnik is, and the mussels are like one of the cheapest things on the menu. And you just got this plate of mussels that must have been like 3 pounds. Like, there was 50 or 60 mussels. Like, I'm not exaggerating. And it was $12, which might not sound that cheap, but for Dubrovnik, you cannot really eat cheaper than that. So that was an awesome meal. Then another place in Dubrovnik, a little bougier. We splurged a little bit. Had this meal, and it was like more tapas. Like, things were small, but they were super tasty. So we had black risotto with cuttlefish, which we'd had actually like 1 or 2 other times, but this one in particular was just like delicious. And it actually had cheese ice cream on it. So I'll just like play the video. I don't want to spoil anything. And then their other thing that was just incredible was this like octopus salad, where the octopus was perfect. The veg was it was just incredible. Show the video. I don't need to speak more about it. It was just great. When we got to Kotor, which everything was basically half the price of Dubrovnik, which was awesome. Little chef's kiss. We went to one restaurant 4 times. We were there 5 nights, so 4 full days. We went to this place 4 times because it was so good. So I'll just throw some video of all the different stuff we had there. It was a barbecue place. Incredible. One other thing we had in Kotor is there's this hike. You walk up these city walls, and in the middle of nowhere, you can walk through a hole in the wall. Then there's this like grass path. There is one house in the mountains, and they make cheese, like they homemade cheese, and you can get like beer and homemade cheese. We had it at 9 in the morning. I don't know how that wouldn't stand out to someone. That was fantastic. And there's cats everywhere. That's a whole nother story, but it was fantastic. And then the last thing I'll mention was cevapi in Ulcin. So cevapi, and I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, little lamb, beef, little sausages, maybe that big or so, and you eat them with bread or sauce or cabbage or whatever. And I've had them probably 5 different places, including today. And this place in Ulcin, I was like, do you have a menu? They're like, no, we have cevapi, that's it. I was like, all right, let's do it. And not only was the cevapi the best I've had, their bread was phenomenal, and cheap beer. It was just, if you go to Ulcin, which I don't know if you will, hopefully I'll show you some videos and you're like, I'm going there. It ends with a J. This place is a must visit. It is incredible. The guys were so nice when they saw me filming. They were like, are you YouTuber? And I was like, yeah. And they like brought us out this like melon and like all this other stuff. I don't want to spoil too much. It was fantastic. Let's go to the next category, or the next section. And in the month of May, I published 8 videos, and people are like, duh, you're always gonna publish 8 videos. False. Depending on how the days of the month shake out, since I only do Wednesday and Saturday, there might be 7 videos some months and 9 others. So I did 8 videos this month. I got back into the mix of doing the cost of living videos, so I dropped my cost of living in Mexico City part 2. That did pretty well, and like I had a lot of fun doing those. And then I did cost of living by the beach, or Playa del Carmen. That one bombed. I don't know why people don't care about anything but Mexico City. Topic for another video. And then I started experimenting with some other video types, so namely doing these monthly recaps. Please let me know in the comments if you do like them, because I would appreciate that. Or if there's anything you want changed, please let me know. And then I did best men's travel pants. So like ahead of planning for this trip, I wanted to get some like quote unquote travel pants. I just want to start doing some different content types in addition to just doing like vlogs and stuff. So let me know if you watched any of my other videos. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you check out any other YouTubers that you really like and they have content that I don't. Again, this is a community. I'm listening. Let me know what you think and what you want. And my favorite video or videos of the month, it's a toss-up. I had a lot of fun editing and living the video of the day trip to Xochimilco when some friends from LA were in town and we hit the canals. I also really had fun filming and living Yoonji's birthday. I think we did a lot of fun stuff in that video, and it's just action-packed with a lot of fun stuff you can do. And then I also really enjoyed the Mi Compa Shava one. It's the thumbnail that's like, this place is better than Contramar, and like Mi Compa Shava slaps. It's awesome. I think it's the most popular place in Mexico City, and it's impossible to get a reservation. We had Yoonji's friend come in, who we're now friends with, and his friend Bark. So it was just a fun video. So if you want to check out any of those, I'll drop the link in bio. And quick plug, if you like this video or you've seen any of my other videos and you want to support this channel, please hit the subscribe button. And this will be a very quick section. So I wrote 0 blog posts again. I think we're getting close. I'm gonna start, now that Yoonji's not working, gonna work with her on like rebranding or redoing my blog. I think I'm gonna backlog like 4 articles, so when I do relaunch it, I can have like consistent articles. I'm gonna post once a week. I'm thinking Tuesdays. If you've ever seen my blog or you read any blogs, let me know in the comments. Any feedback is really helpful, but I think I'm just gonna get back in that rhythm of writing in addition to vlogging and doing videos. So my reading situation continues to be terrible. Like, I swear I usually average 4 to 5 books per month. I finished 2 books in the month of May, and I basically read both of them before we took off for Europe. I guess I was just binging movies on the flight, and the first one you would have heard if you watched the April recap. It's Tiamat's Wrath. I forget if this is, I think it's the 8th book in the Expanse series. Very cool sci-fi series that's been made into a TV show. Love the characters, and the more you read, the deeper you get into it. It's just very fun. This wasn't my favorite book, but it was still good. And I do the audiobooks. I read the first 3 or 4 books, then switched to audiobooks. The narrator is insanely good. The way he does the different characters' voices, he's one of the best narrators in my opinion. Other book I read is called Fluent Forever. I heard about this from another like fire blogger, and I checked it out. And again, the audiobook is by the narrator. Anytime a book is narrated by the author, I will prefer to get it on audiobook because it's a little more special in my opinion. The reason it's so good, not only is it super entertaining, or maybe I should say the other way, but it just covers language in a very interesting way, and I learned things I had never heard or learned about. It leans very heavily on pronunciation, not using any English, using any language to learn a language. So leans heavily on pronunciation, not using English. I'm a little drunk. And short repetition system or something, or using like flashcards and Anki, and it was just super interesting. And we'll talk a little bit more about language later in this video, but it was super solid. I highly recommend it to anyone who's even remotely interested in learning another language. And then to catch up, I am currently listening to The Maid on audiobook. It is like a thriller or suspense or mystery about a maid who stumbles upon a dead body in a hotel. That one's interesting. Honestly, I'm not loving it too much, but I'm like 15% of the way I'm gonna finish. And then the book I'm reading, it's been a while since I've read my Kindle, shout out to Yoonji, is How I Built This by Guy Raz. So if you've ever heard his podcast, his whole thing is like interviewing entrepreneurs and kind of walking through their story. The book is pretty good. I would say I still prefer his podcast, but the book is good, and the way it's structured, it's all about like the arc of an entrepreneur interlaced with different stories. So most recently I was reading about like the guys who created Method Soap, and then Airbnbs popped up, and the guy who did Sam Adams. So if you're interested in entrepreneurship or starting a business, or just like love biographies or stories, highly recommend that book. Okay, so exercise. I actually was still exercising in May. Now that we're here, not really exercising. We're walking, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 miles a day. We're swimming, we're doing stuff, we're walking up steep hills, but back home we were still exercising for real, or like logging them. So exercised 18 times, or 18 exercises. I put that in quotes because some of them might have been walks. The bulk of them were indoor and outdoor cycles, and then the main one was our roughly 14 or 15 mile each way, so 28 to 30 mile bicycle ride to Golden Road in Huntington Beach. Stay healthy, my friends. So learning. The biggest things I'm still like working on learning are like social media. So I think I roughly talked about Twitter last time, and Twitter's interesting. I was like super jazzed about it, having fun. I'm like kind of over Twitter. I don't know how much value I can bring. I disagree with like everyone on there. If anyone's interested in what I'm talking about, like let me know in the comments. Just trying to understand like if I should stick around there. I'll probably use it as like a portal for my blog when I start doing that, or some of the YouTube stuff. But I just think everyone's so full of crap, and everyone's trying to act like so rich. My whole thing is building tribe and building community, and I'm just not getting that connection on Twitter. So that's one thing. TikTok is another platform I am going to invest some time. Like YouTube's always going to be my primary, and I like doing what I do, but I think I want to do like a 30-day challenge on TikTok. I want to post every day and get into the flow of posting 4 times a day, because Gary Vayner, if you've seen him on any platform, he's everywhere. He's like, yeah, my advice to everyone, 4 TikToks a day. Do that and your brand will blow up. Are you on Twitter? Are you on TikTok? Please let me know in the comments. And then the other thing, I would love outside of YouTube to like interact or build community. Where do you think the best place to like interact would be? Would it be Instagram, Slack, Discord? Is it YouTube? Like what other channels do you use? What other creators are you like engaging with? I'd love to build like a community somewhere. So like please let me know. And then like obviously like I'm always trying to work on learning YouTube. Like I want engagement. I want to understand like what sucks about my videos, what's decent, what's good, what could be better. Like let me know, and this is how like I'll change things. So I'd love to just engage and interact with y'all more on here, and then I'd love to know what other channels or outlets that I could build community with. Please let me know in the comments. And then language, we're in Croatia, we're in Montenegro now, we're going to Bosnia next. Spoiler, I'll talk about that later. Serbian, Croatian, Montenegrin, and Bosnian are more or less mutually intelligible, so that means folks in different places can understand each other. Most people say it's all just a little bit of different pronunciation, and vocabulary and grammar are the same. So we have been learning a little. Everyone speaks so much English, it's a little challenging. If you're interested in my take on like the essential phrases or words I've learned while in Croatia and Montenegro, please let me know and I'll put together a video. If you want something for, you know, Mexico and Spanish, let me know. But that's kind of the most I'm doing in the language realm, besides finishing Fluent Forever. Some of you might only be here for like the money and finances, which is fine. I looked at like my analytics last time and a lot of people just skipped and used the video chapters to get here, which that's why we have them. I don't want you to watch stuff you don't want. So this is a lot less interesting than last month where I lost like 129K. Like, God, last month sucked. Even though I think worse things are coming. So my portfolio, or like my money market account, my main thing, my Schwab, was down $19,837. However, this month, my 401k was actually up. My 401k is 100% VT-SAX. So that is Vanguard's mutual fund for the total stock market index. So that was actually up. So that means I suck at choosing investments. If I was just VTI and VT-SAX, I would have actually been positive this month. I'm in the process of, I was gonna wait till VTI hit 220 to consolidate stuff. I think this Monday I'm gonna swap just to get rid of the headache, and we can talk about that another time. If what I'm saying makes no sense and you're curious, hit me in the comments. So I was down for the month of May, $19,526, which sounds terrible because that's more than I spend in a year, but it's a hell of a lot less than being down 129K. My spend was, I don't know how it stacked up to April because I'm not looking, but I only spent $727 roughly. I think it was like 726 and change. And last video, I did Yoonji and I combined. I'm just gonna do myself because some of the other fire bloggers do the same. So I spent $727 this month, about $265 on accommodation or rent, $267 or $268 on food and alcohol, $178 on transportation, and $16.35 on miscellaneous and activities. So this is just me, not me and Yoonji. The reason this was so low is we got to Croatia or Europe on May 18th, so I wasn't paying rent most of the month. I wasn't paying for food or anything most of the month. That's why it's so cheap. And even though I'm down 20K this month and 130K last month, the reason this all works, and I'll do a video later, is you save up a bunch of money, you make as much as you can, you invest it all, and as long as you are taking less than it's growing over the long term, and this is what people say, the 4% rule, you're gonna be okay. So I'm doing my best to spend like 1% of my portfolio per year. We'll talk more about this later, but that is why I'm not freaking out. We're gonna keep traveling. I'm not getting another job. We're still gonna do the travel thing. We're still doing YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Any questions, hit me in the comments, but I'm not scared. I'm unhappy about the market and I think it's gonna get worse, but like it is what it is. And we're gonna do this. And as y'all help me continue to build my YouTube and other channels, we're slowly gonna make money and then it won't even matter. We'll end this on a happy note. Where to next? So I started this video saying we're in Budva, Montenegro. I'll throw that up on a map now if I haven't. Next, we're gonna go one more place in Montenegro. Then we're gonna go to Bosnia for 2.5, almost 3 weeks. And then we're going to go to Croatia, and that is where we will spend a few more nights, but that is the bulk of June. So Montenegro, mostly Bosnia, and then Croatia, and then we'll go somewhere new in July, but we'll be in Europe until early September. So if you're interested in more videos like this, if you're interested in seeing where the heck we go in Europe, seeing what we eat, seeing how we do this, seeing why I suck with money so much, subscribe, join the community, hit me in the comments, let me know what other channels you want to engage with. And if you're someone who likes to travel or save or invest or eat or wants to go to Europe or wants to just have weird friends, hit me in the comments. Let's build this thing out together. Thanks so much for watching this. This is just the beginning. See you in a few more days with a new video. You're the best.